Nikki. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. Look, we hit 400 subscribers. Isn't that so exciting? It really is. So, I'm back here with Tootsie. Tootsie's here, and he's going to help us try to get the word out about, he's a little baby, about one of the missing persons cases. I'm going to go back and get back to missing persons. I did put a little true crime video out. If you noticed, it didn't really do that great. I enjoy the missing persons anyways, a little bit more. So, yeah. Anyways, this case today is very solvable. Actually, I believe it should be solved already. It is the case of Christies Nichols. She disappeared from Gothenburg, Nebraska. And this is an older case. Some of y'all know, if you've been watching now for a little bit, I like to do the older cases. I touch on some of the newer missing persons cases, but I am not a fan, but I enjoy the older cases because I've noticed with these older cases, a lot of these cases really, if they would have happened in the 2000s era, they probably would have been solved. So yeah, Christies Nichols was covered on the very first season of Unsolved Mysteries, so you can go and find that. So yeah, go check it out. I can leave the link down below, but anyways, yes, so Christy was covered in the very first season of Unsolved Mysteries, and I was watching Unsolved Mysteries, of course, the other day, because I've probably seen everyone, but I still watch them. And I'm watching this one, and usually, you know, I'll go and say, hey, what happened to these solved if they don't have an update? And this one is not solved. She disappeared on December 18th in 1987, and it has been, 33 years almost, something like that. That is ridiculous. You know why it's ridiculous? Because, oh, you'll see why. So, you're going to see why, because it's very obvious something has happened to Christy, and actually it's not even being looked at anymore as a missing persons, but possible homicide. So, let's get into Christie's story, and like I said, thanks for coming by and checking out my channel. Appreciate it. Okay, so Christies Nichols was married to a real big asshole named Mark Nichols. They were married for a few years. She married him when she was 19 and disappeared by the time she was 22 years old. In those short time of being married to him, they had 2 children, and basically her world revolved all around Mark and these kids. Christy was a bartender at a local bar in Gothenburg, Nebraska. This is a really small town, by the way. Yeah, so everybody knows everybody's business and stuff. Grandma lived there, Mom lived there. They all were from this little town. It's been reported that Christy had a boyfriend. Now, I only heard that, you know, that she was seeing a man on the other side. I don't really care about that. I don't know whether she was. It really is irrelevant to the story. But it is information that is out there. But I honestly don't think it has nothing to do with this, okay? Moving on. Days before her disappearance, Christy and Mark got into a fight, so to speak. He says she started it, that she put a cigarette out on his neck, and he picked her up and threw her, and she hurt her thumb. When he takes her to the emergency room, they take her alone into a examination room, and he stands outside pacing, really intimidating the doctor. The doctor's trying to get more information out of Christy, and she's pretty much terrified. She's not really into talking about it. Also, around this time, 10 days before, 2 weeks before, she was with her friend and a cousin, and she mentioned she was in pain, and they were all asking what was wrong. She was coming out and saying, okay, he's abusing me. It appears that they had a volatile relationship, probably also involved alcohol and drinking. I'm just throwing that out there. It appears that maybe they did do quite a bit of partying and stuff, but here and there maybe. But it is very, very widely reported that Mark was a violent man. Of course, he denies that till the day is long. But, you know, we know better. Also, she had reported that he was spying on her phone calls, listening into her on the other line. I assume this is 1987, so I'm assuming that. Maybe checking who she was calling, answering her phones. Probably, you know, being very jealous, possessive, and abusive. So all this is, you know, open book. Hello. I don't like this guy, Mark, at all. Just from even being on film, he looks like a total piece of shit and a dick, and like he's just really lying through his teeth. So guess what? 2 days before she disappears, she goes to a lawyer. She sneaks out of town and goes to a lawyer. That's how scared she is. That's because it's a small town. So she sneaks out of town, goes to a lawyer. She tells the lawyer all about this abuse and all this good stuff. The lawyer and her plan on filing charges on Mark Nichols, which is a really good idea, especially if you're going to be leaving him. She also begins to see a counselor for abuse. I don't know where that came in, whether it was a recommendation of her lawyer or at the hospital, but she was seeing an abuse counselor, probably teaching her how to try to break free from this guy, who is a total creep, okay? Also, I just want to say that the lawyer that she hired became an advocate for Christy. Doing my research, I saw that he was constantly involved in her case, and he was basically an advocate. He recently died, and he's no longer available. So he's not, you know, able to fight with her, but he did do a lot for her while she was gone. Whatever kind of meeting they had, it touched him enough for him to work on her case for like 25 years, literally. So on December 10th, the day before she goes missing, they go shopping. They take the 2 kids out. They have a normal day, so Mark says. Then they go home and, they want to go out. And in the Unsolved Mysteries episode, the babysitter's interviewed because she knows that they aren't getting along. So she's like, why are they even going out? So it's obvious to people around everybody that they really didn't have a good relationship. It was not a good relationship. But they call the babysitter. They get the babysitter over there to babysit. They go to the bar where Christy works and drinks and pool, and of course this is all according to Mark. Everything was hunky-dory, fabulous, no issues whatsoever. They leave there, they go to a convenience store. This has all been documented. They're at a convenience store at 12:30, then at sometime after that they get home. According to Mark, they both come home. Christy runs in the house and goes to the bathroom. The babysitter is tripping because he's paying her in cash. She always gets paid by check. This is 1987. And yeah, the babysitter thinks this is kind of strange. She never sees Christy come into the house. So that's that. Mark states he goes to bed at 2:30 and passes out cold, and he is just poof out, doesn't hear nothing. He sees Christy around that time when he goes to sleep. He wakes in the morning, and guess what? Christy has gone. She's actually packed a bag, a suitcase, and taken her purse. He doesn't really know what to do, so he's looking around the house. Hey, Christy, this is according to him, of course. Hey, where you at? Where you at? So at 9:30 a.m., Christy mom calls and says, hey, where's Christy? Can I talk to her? She doesn't know anything. He said, oh, she's still asleep. Lies to the mom. There you go. Okay, we go red flag, red flag. They're all coming flying up. Watch this. Hangs up the phone. A couple of hours later, guess what? Mark drops the kids off at Christy's grandma and mentions, hey, Christy is missing. I can't find her.
I hope and pray that she was alive, but if she isn't, I'd still want to find a solution to this case. I'd like to have her buried someplace where we'd know where she was.
I want very much for Christy to come home, but if for some reason she doesn't want to come home, you know, Christy, at least call somebody. You know, let us know where you are, whether you're all right.
She also states in the Unsolved Mysteries that it was unusual. They usually called and said, hey, Grandma, can you watch the kids? Well, he just came over there and dropped them off. Which, that's not really, I guess to her. But if somebody's missing, you would go drop the kid. You wouldn't even bother to call. But wouldn't you call somebody and say, hey, is she there? Is she there? But on the other hand, he never even asked Grandma, hey, is Christy there? Have you seen Christy? She come by? Nothing. Just, she's missing. I'm going to go look for her. So supposedly he drives around the town for like 3 or 4 hours. Nobody sees him around town. Nobody. So about 1:30 in the afternoon, he goes and he files a police report. In the police report, he literally itemizes every single thing that Christy took in the suitcase, right? They do a little searching, from what I gather. They did their normal, regular searching and investigation. This case goes nowhere.
That aren't ringing true, that don't appear like your normal missing person situation.
It's reported, get this shit. Now, it says, on some websites I saw it's the same day, and in some other places the next day, Mark packs up the house and moves. Can you imagine your wife or your husband going missing, and the same day or even the next day, you literally pack your 2 kids up and the house up and you move? But he doesn't even explain any of that. I'm not seeing any explanation about that. And then, to top it all off, he sells his car and her car. Yeah, what the fuck? Really? Okay, this is like, no. So anyways, about 3 months later, at a roadside rest stop, guess what's found? Christy's suitcase and her wallet, and every single item that Mark reported her missing in is in this suitcase. And that seems to stand out. Everywhere I looked when I watched the Unsolved Mystery, but even at all the websites, every site and every report and every article was like how he knew for some reason that was really important, which it does seem important. Like, how would you know exactly what this girl packed, especially if she packed while you were passed out? I mean, really? No. Very, very obvious signs. Why? And this, like, there's no really investigation. He just leaves and that's it. Well, they do a little bit of investigation. They actually find some blood in the house before. This is not a huge investigation, though. I'm going to say that right now. But they did find blood on the bed of in their bedroom. Well, Mark says that's menstrual blood. She had a period, blah, blah, blah. They also do check Mark's car, and they find some human blood and, other things in there. But then we're in 1987, and there's no such thing as DNA. So whatever, they preserve this blood and bodily fluids that they found in the car and on the bed. And they can't do anything about it. They literally can't. He moves and poof, whatever, sells her stuff. This is just ridiculous. So finally, years later, I don't know how many years, I'm sorry, it doesn't say, but years later, they do DNA testing when it's available on the bedroom blood, and it's Christie's. They do DNA testing for all the bodily fluids and stuff that's in the trunk of his car, and guess what? It's Christie's. So it's very, 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 very obvious this man has got away with the murder. I mean, 100%, she could be a Jane Doe out there, which is very possible. Tell you one thing I did find out, that Mark moved to Arkansas, good old Arkansas, and he's married for the 3rd time. And he has some more kids, I think. And guess what? The kids that he has with Christy have no contact with her family. Isn't that fucking sweet? What a dick. You know that show, Cold Justice? And they do a lot of different, super cold cases. This would be a perfect case for them to do. I know they probably have tons, but this would be perfect. I mean, the man he doesn't have any alibi either. There's blood in the bedroom that's not period blood. There's blood in his trunk. Okay? I mean, to me, just because there's no body, they're not, prosecuting this case. And you know, he obviously got wind. This is also reported. He got wind of the fact that she saw the divorce order. He got wind of the fact that she was seeing a counselor. And that she was, you know, talking about this abuse stuff. So this is the most dangerous time for an abused woman too, trying to leave. Look it up. It's what they say. It's you know, public, super public, that when a lady's about to leave this abusive relationship, a lot of them get killed, a lot of them disappear, a lot of them vanish. I would just hope that if you're in that area, that's why I'm doing this, and that's why I do a lot of these older cases, because, you know, somebody should see this and look into it. Somebody in Gothenburg, Nebraska should raise holy hell about this, because this guy murdered his wife. I don't give a shit what nobody says. This is 100%. Where did she go? Where did she go? This is a tiny little town. They didn't have no money. She didn't take her car. She had a paycheck at work she didn't pick up. He's not really giving an excuse. I mean, what's it, you know, the boyfriend thing, I don't even know if that's a legit story. So this case irritated me, and as many of them do. You'll see in my videos. But these older cases just drive me nuts, because I truly, truly believe that even without a body, they could totally prosecute this guy. And look, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. 33 years later, let's go get this Mark piece of shit. So thanks for watching this video. Please share it, like, come back and subscribe. I'm going to try to upload a little more. Sorry, I was a little behind this week. I was working on other stuff. So I have a couple of other videos that are in the works. And so I'm glad you stayed to watch, and I'm glad we made it to 4 subscribers. And I say we because, hey, look, it's me and you guys, it's me and you kids. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.